Now, is it possible to go ahead and buy real estate without any money whatsoever? The answer is yes, but I also don't recommend it. And this video is not clickbait. And you might ask me, Tommy, if it's possible for me to buy real estate without any money and you don't recommend it, why are you making this video? Because I want you to know how it works. So this way you know the risks, you know the pros, and if you don't want to do it, you don't do it. But I would always make videos about how to do illegal things and things I don't recommend, just for the fact that once you understand the risk behind something, how it works, this way you're not suckered into it when anyone out there offers you to get into it, okay? I think knowing things that you don't want to do is still important. So this way you know you don't want to do it because you know about it, all right? So that's why I'm making this video right now. And as always, guys, like this video on top of also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified. Now, traditionally, obviously, when you go to a bank, they want you to put down some money, 10, 20%, because they want you to have skin in the game. If the home is worth $100,000, well, if you put down 20%, you only owe them 80K. If you default, guess what? They can sell it for 100K and still keep your money, all right? That's the idea. Banks always like that. They want you to have skin in the game, but there are ways where you can go buy a home with zero of your own money. Zero. Obviously, though, this means that you're going to have to find the money from someone else. This does not mean I'm telling you how to buy a home with no money. It's just that you're not using your own money. You're using other people's money. Now, the first way is to actually get around the entire thing. And how you do that is you find someone that is willing to guarantee you the loan, and this way you personally don't have to put down any money. And you might say, Tommy, I can't ask my mom, I can't ask my dad, but that's not my point at all, okay? My point is, if you can find someone that's actually going to guarantee you the loan, let's say, for example, I walked into a dealership and I was gonna buy a Bugatti. And they're like, Tommy, we're not going to finance you this Bugatti. You're not going to walk out of here without any money down or whatever, okay? But if I walked in this dealership with Bill Gates, they would say, get whatever you want, because they know Bill Gates is good for the money. Same thing here. So who's the person or who's the entity willing to lend you money and stand on your behalf? That is, my friends, the US government. So, okay, so that basically means if you get a VA loan or a USDA loan, which are loans that are basically guaranteed by the government, you're actually able to get these properties with 0% down. You ever heard about an FHA loan, a first-time homeowner like loan? Well, these usually require like around a 3.5% down payment. That's the idea. Well, VA loans and USDA loans don't need a down payment whatsoever, so you can technically walk into the bank and then basically get that loan for that property without putting down any of your own money. Now, obviously, the government is backing you, and the government is doing this to incentivize buying these type of homes, and that's the idea behind it. So it's not like you're winning all the way, you're still responsible for it. But if the absolute worst happens, the bank knows the government is going to be basically going to have to pay that for you. That is the idea, right? Now, number two, guys, is going to be seller's financing, okay? So when I was actually selling my personal home that I actually had, it's actually paid for in cash, so it was mine fully. I didn't have it with a bank. It was like mine. I had a family member come to me and say, Tommy, I'm willing to give you 70K as a down payment and then finance the rest from you. Is that cool? And I said, well, what are the terms here? What are you looking for? And they would tell me, no, I would actually want you to charge me no interest. And I was like, I could do that, but I don't have to. You know, the idea is when you find a seller that owns a home outright, they have the freedom to do whatever they want. So if you find a motivated or just, for example, a person willing to give you the chance, you're actually able to get a home without putting down any money whatsoever of your own money. That's the idea. So, by the way, these deals are a little harder to find as a whole. Now, why would a seller do this? Well, obviously, they could do it for personal reasons. They could do it because they want to charge you more interest. They could do it because they find it, for example, beneficial to them, but they're going to do it for whatever reason they have, all right? So you're dealing with a person, so you're able to have a conversation. That is the idea behind it. You might be able to pay them more rents, pay them more interest, or whatever it is, okay? That's the idea. Now, number three, and the third idea here is basically via creative financing. Now, creative financing basically means that I spoke to this guy once on the phone, and he told me, Tommy, I bought my home and I put down 0% of my own money. I was like, how do you do it? He told me, well, I'm just going to use fake numbers here. He told me, hey, I bought this home for like $100,000. The down payment was going to be around $10,000, and closing costs was going to be like an extra like $3,000, $5,000. Let's say all in all, it was about $15,000. He said, I went ahead and I got me a personal loan, and I used that personal loan money to cover that cost, and that way I put down 0% of my own money. Okay, now I'm able to pay the property per month, be just fine, pay the loan off little by little, and this way I did not use my own money. You can also use this, for example, even with a credit card, even with a personal loan, even for example with hard money lending. Okay, you find someone out there willing to finance a deal for you and say, you're gonna pay me anything, the collateral is, for example, the property in a way, then you'll be just fine. All right, that's the idea. So there are creative ways to actually do it. Now, you might be asking me, Tommy, in a way, this doesn't sound that bad. You know, I could get the government to guarantee it. I could basically find someone that's motivated, like selling their own property. I can basically do creative financing, by like finding ways to use other people's money, which is fine too. But why wouldn't I want to do this? Okay, well, the idea is, when you don't have any skin in the game, when you don't have any equity, that usually means you're paying a higher amount of money. You're also carrying a lot more risk, because you ever heard about like infinite returns? Well, I have a video on that coming out soon. Okay, it's a way to actually make infinite returns in real estate. If you don't put any money in a deal and you make $1, you're making 1,000,000% profit, right? Because guess what? You never put any money in whatsoever. That's the idea. So whenever you have, for example, very crazy amounts of returns, you also have crazy amounts of risks. If you default, something goes wrong, you can't pay, you overspread yourself, then you're going to be like out of luck. Okay, you can be foreclosed on, you might go bankrupt, something might happen to you. That's the idea, and you might not be able to cover responsibilities. Now, cover your responsibilities. Now, my overall goal with buying real estate isn't just to be able to buy real estate, because anyone can basically do that. Okay, you have government assisted loans. You have, for example, creative ways to actually buy real estate. Okay, or your guarantee loans, government guarantee loans. Okay, but the idea behind actually buying a property is to be able to pay off that property as fast as possible. If your goal is to own it, own the asset, make the income, and then have the tenant paid off in 30 years, then this works fine for you, putting down no money. But if your goal is to buy the asset, own the asset, and keep making money where all the cash is yours and have less risk, then this doesn't make sense for you at all, because you want to have equity. You want to be able to get to your goal faster. And also, when you put down no money, you do have, for example, private mortgage insurance. It might be guaranteed by the government or whatever, but you still have to pay that. Okay, so it's just like an extra fee overall. But these are just ways to get into property without putting down any of your own money, which is usually done by people that don't have any money, people that want to rush into it, and I just don't recommend this. So if you don't have any money right now whatsoever, and you're like, I'm going to buy real estate, the answer is maybe just wait. Wait until you have some savings to put down 20%. Wait until you're debt free. Wait until you can have some money on the side in case anything goes wrong. You know, I heard this story from my professor when I was in college, and he told me that when you buy a property, Tommy, you're not left with any money, because you scratched the piggy bank to be able to buy the property. I was like, that is so stupid and dumb. Okay, and he had, for example, a property in New York. He had a property in DR, and I was like, this guy is spreading himself like way too thin. Okay, if you buy a property and it leaves you with zero emergency money, with zero money whatsoever, that's not a good deal, because when something does go wrong and you don't have any money to cover it, you're gonna have to borrow more money, or you're gonna have to miss your payments. Okay, and that's not what you want either way. So it's better to buy things the right way, be fully prepared, than get into a deal that you're not ready for. And you know you're not ready when you don't have any money. All right, that's the idea. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. And I'm sure there are other tricky ways to actually find yourself into getting a deal without any money down of your own. But for the most part, you are using somebody's money, because there is money involved here. And whenever you don't put down any money, usually the risk is going to be higher. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. And by the way, last thing I should say, guys, is that when you hear people on YouTube say, basically, I'm able to control $1 million worth of real estate just with $200,000, and that sounds so attractive, but what they don't mention is you're able to control that much real estate by taking on the risk of $800,000. That's over you over the next 15. Most of the time, it's not 15. Most of the time is like 30-year mortgages they actually get. So it's like 30 years of having this looming debt over you. Okay, so it's not the game I want to play whatsoever. But that's the idea for this video. Thanks for watching. And now I'll say like, subscribe, and peace out. Okay? Other videos right here. My face right here. All right? Peace.